Okay, should be recording. Anyways, I started the lesson, but I just went over the topics and our schedule. And then I have like a cartoon here that kind of explains a little bit about plagiarism. And the student there is saying, what do you mean all of these facts are wrong? I copied everything straight off the internet. And of course, plagiarism is when you either intentionally or unintentionally copy somebody else's work and say that it's your own. And so we'll talk about that by the end of the lesson here. So some questions we're going to think about are, what is plagiarism? How do I include in-text citations, and even what are in-text citations? How do I make a works cited page? And what is MLA? Those are all kind of related to your English courses, and we're going to answer all of those questions. So first, I wanted to broadly define what MLA is. It's sometimes mentioned in your English courses. It's usually said like, please include an MLA citation. And that just means that it's in the form or style commonly used to write papers and cite sources. And in college, it's usually used for liberal arts or humanities. So like your English and your social sciences courses will follow MLA. Science courses will follow a different style called APA. But for this English course, we follow MLA. And so it just means that it's a style and how to format your essay and your citations by that. Okay, so what is plagiarism? And since I only have you, Denise, in the class, what do you think? Do you know what plagiarism is? We kind of defined it earlier, but maybe you could write in the chat box. Or yeah, go for it.
When you copy somebody else's work and take the credit for it and don't give the person the credit for it.
Exactly. Yep. And plagiarism is actually really easy to do. It happens a lot. Most of the time it's unintentional, right? We found a fact and we didn't cite it properly, and so that's plagiarism. Unfortunately, when you're in college or you're in graduation alliance too, there's some penalties for that, because it's basically saying your work, you're taking their work without giving them any credit. So exactly like what you said. And the other question I want you to think about is, why are in-text citations and a works cited page related to plagiarism? And I don't know if you have any background knowledge on in-text citations or a works cited page, but what do you think? How do you think those two are related? Do you have any guesses?
Well, this is a guess. That's when you accredit the person in the parentheses, I believe.
That's right.
And
yeah.
and you can't put like the date within the paragraph. You can put the let me get it together. You can put the person you're talking about, but you can't put the date until the end and put it in parentheses and the period at the end.
Yeah.
But make sure you put both of those in.
You got it. And we're going to talk about that specifically.
That's it, right?
That is like super correct. Good job. Yeah. It's basically in-text citations are like right in the essay, and then a works cited page is at the end, like what you were saying. So yeah, very good. And we're going to go through all of those right now. So there is a Prezi I'm going to show that kind of goes through what in-text citations are, but you definitely have a background for it, so good answer. So what are in-text citations? And they're also called parenthetical citations, which is what you were saying, Denise. It was what goes in those parentheses inside the essay. So it says, in short, in-text citations are a way to signal your reader that the material you're using belongs to another author. So the citation points to your works cited page where you'll place the full reference. So like you were saying, it's in the essay, and then at the end you put the date and all the other information. So you are definitely on the right track. And then we have some examples. So let's say it says, let's say you want to use this article from a scholarly journal in your essay. All right, so the article is right here, and then the quote is here. So you want to maybe take this quote and put it in your essay, or you want to paraphrase it, whichever one you want to do. You need to make sure that you take note of the page number. Now, if you're using websites, which we are predominantly using in our English courses for research, you won't have a page number, but you'll need the last name of the author. Okay, and this is in, let's say we're putting it in your paper. This would have to, your in-text citation would have to correlate to your Works Cited page, which would have the last name here. And we'll talk about how to make a Works Cited page as well. But the in-text citation would direct the reader to your Works Cited page. For example, the last name here. The first word you use here, the last name of the author, or if there is no author, the first unique word in the title is what you'll use in your in-text citation. So here's the actual in-text citation. Like you were saying, Denise, it's right in the essay and you use the last name of the author. So they used, for this example, a direct quote. So this is not their writing. They put it in quotes to show that it's not their writing. And then they put parentheses and the last name of the author. And if, like I said, if you're using a website, you don't need the page number because it's a website. It says, place your citation in parentheses immediately following your quote, or you can just paraphrase that, but it still needs a citation. So even if you write something in your own words, you still have to mention the last name of the author. So let's do, here's another example. This one has a direct quote and then the last name of the author. They put a page number, but if you're using a website, you don't need that. And let's see. Okay, this one, here's another example. This one mentions the last name of the author in the essay. So it says, as Corbett says, and so this is the last name of the author. So they don't need to mention it in the parentheses. They just have the page number. So if you were using a website, you wouldn't need a parentheses citation there if you mention it in the essay. And like I said, this is the last name, and then this goes to their Works Cited, where this author is listed at the end of the essay in their Works Cited page. And of course, they're saying your in-text citation or your mention of the author must match your Works Cited, okay? And we don't need to go through that versus APA because we're not going to do that, but we are going to skip along to slide 19. Okay, it says, aren't there more rules about how to cite sources in the text than you've shown me here? Yes, there are. Problems always arrive in a citation process, but solutions to these problems do exist. Make sure you consult a writing handbook or a style manual when you cite sources. You can always ask your teacher. This is a great resource, the Purdue OWL Writing Lab, and I can email. Oh, we have another person in our class here. Sorry, I can call you by name because there's only two. Oh, hey, Lavetta. It's just you, me, and Denise, so feel free to chime in and if you have any questions. We're just talking about in-text citations right now. I think you have to unmute yourself to talk, or you can write a chat message. Anyways, this is a great resource, and I can email both of you the notes from this lesson so you have all of the resources that I have used. And that's it. Okay, so that's it for that. Let's go back to my, okay. So now we're gonna do an example together. So I chose, we're gonna research Sojourner Truth, and we're gonna make an in-text citation for that and a Works Cited, okay? So imagine that this right here is part of my essay, okay? So I wrote, Sojourner Truth was an incredible person who influenced many, but she didn't grow up with the best circumstances. Her actual date of birth was, and this was a direct quote taken from somewhere, okay? So it was taken from this website. Let's see, pull it up here. Okay, let's see where I found the quote here. See if I can find it. Oh. Okay, her date of birth was not recorded. So let's see here. Why is it taking so long? Okay, so I took this quote right from the this source here. Okay, this is not in my own words, so I have to put it in quotes. Okay, and so I wrote it here. I put it in quotes, and now I need an in-text citation. But first, in order to do that, we'll need a Works Cited page, because remember that your in-text citation has to go along with your Works Cited page. And so we are going to learn about a Works Cited page real fast. Okay, Denise and Lavetta, maybe Lavetta, you could chime in if you want, but what do you know, because I've already asked Denise a couple questions, but do you know anything about a Works Cited page, or what do you think a Works Cited page might be? And you can write in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself. Or Denise, you can answer too if you know. Okay, I'm going to take that as we don't know what a Works Cited page is, and that's totally cool too. So remember how we mentioned MLA before? It's Modern Language Association, and it just is a acronym for a style format, so how you format your essay. So anytime MLA is mentioned, it's just the way you cite your sources. Citing your sources means providing information on where you found your information. All right, so when you have to cite, and cite means when you have to tell your readers where you found your fact. So anytime you summarize from another source, anytime you quote, which was the examples we were using, and anytime you paraphrase. So paraphrase means just writing a fact in your own words. You still have to say where you found the fact. Hey, Rachel. Rachel just joined us. Okay. Then, okay, basically cite anything that doesn't come from your brain. If it's not your unique, original idea, then you need to cite where you found the fact. So a Works Cited page is a page at the very end of your paper where you list the sources you used in the paper itself. It should begin on a new page, have the word Works Cited centered at the top, be double-spaced, and include all sources in alphabetical order. And we'll talk about that and how to do that in a moment. Yeah, it should be on its own page, double-spaced, and all the entries are in alphabetical order. And that's kind of what it would look like. That's a lot of sources. Some of your English assignments, I think, could have one source or two sources or three sources. So this is quite a few sources. Notice that the first line of each entry is close to the edge of the page, and every line after that is indented ½ inch. It's called a hanging indent, and we can talk more about that later. But I just wanted to give you a quick idea of what a Works Cited page looks like. It's basically where all of your sources are listed. So most entries will consist of the following information: author's name, title, place of publication, publisher, date published, type of text. That sounds complicated, but I'll make it super simple in a second. So here's an example of an entry for a book. Okay, you have the last name of the author, first name, title of the book, and title of the book is in italics. This would be place of publication, and then copyright date and print, that it was a physical book. Okay, now I'm going to show you actually how to make a citation like this using a citation maker or a citation machine, which is super easy. So I'm just going to open up a new tab here. And I have these, I have all these websites that I'm using in the Prezzies on my notes, so I can email those. And so we're using MLA, so I'm going to click MLA. And this was the citation machine referenced in your English course as well. Okay, so remember that we were finding a fact from this this source on Sojourner Truth, biography.com. Okay, we found this fact. I'm going to use it in my essay, and so I need to make a works cited citation for this. So you would copy this, copy. I copied the URL. I clicked MLA. I'm going to click website. And I haven't been checking in the chat. Okay, good. Nobody asked any questions. Okay, I clicked website, so now I just copy the URL into search websites. So simple. Okay, it says basically, is this the website? I hit select. It is the website. This citation machine kind of has a lot of advertisements on it, which is kind of annoying, but and then it says we found all this data on it, and maybe I would double check that with the website, but I've done that already ahead of time, so I hit final step. And then it lists it all out, which was what we needed to do. It has the author, the publisher, the date. Okay, Denise, this is what we were talking about at the end. This is your works cited. This doesn't go in the in-text citation in the essay. This goes at the end. So I hit create citation. Is it Heidi? Hi, Heidi. I think you just entered. Or hide. Sorry if I mispronounced it. And then we're making a works cited page for those of you who just entered the class with a citation machine, and I can email you all my lesson notes. So in case you missed the first part, you can go through it. Anyways, this is your citation. So super easy. You just copy this directly from here. See, it has the, there was no author for this because it's sometimes like websites like biography.com are written, they have authors, but they're authors that work for biography.com. And so the original author isn't mentioned. So it's just uses the title and then the website, the publisher, the date, and then the URL. And so you can do that by hand, but citation machines and citation makers are pretty easy to use. And I actually use them for all my master's classes because it's a lot faster. So go back to my lesson here. So this was the quote I used, and then I would copy from my citation machine, and this would be my works cited citation. That's it. Okay. So if I was going to create a in-text citation here, it would be in parentheses, okay, with a, oops, period at the end. What would I put in this in-text citation? And it's kind of, I kind of showed the answer at the bottom there. But if this is my works cited, right, what would I put in the in-text citation? Anyone have an idea? You can.
The name?
That's right. Yep. And so this one doesn't have, was that Denise? Good job. This one doesn't
Yes.
have, nice, an author. And so we're going to put the first word. Typically you write the first word. So it would just be sojourner. Okay, in parentheses, and that's it. So that's your in-text citation, and this is your works cited. Now remember, works cited would go on its own separate page under works cited page. And this would go at the very, very end of the essay. An in-text citation goes directly in the text in your essay. Okay? So let's see. Yeah, we would just write sojourner. So this was.
I did it wrong.
Nice. Okay, so this would be your in-text citation, and then at the very end of your essay, imagine more words are written right there. This would be your works cited. If you just had one source. If you have multiple sources, then you will alphabetize these and just and list them just in their own separate separate citation there.
I have a question.
What was the question?
I didn't do that.
Okay.
I did everything at the top.
Yeah.
Where it said when we were doing our works cited, but I didn't put the last part, the works cited part.
Yeah,
so my grade is probably half.
Yeah. Well, Denise, super easy. You can get a retry on that. And if you email me directly, I can look at it and then tell you exactly what you needed to add to it or something. But yeah, if you just find your works, so you basically did the in-text citation, but then you didn't do a works cited.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but also Denise, like I said, if you could just email me my, your essay and I can tell you exactly what you need to do.
Okay.
Do you think you'd be able to make your own works cited having gone through that website?
Yeah, now.
Now? Okay, cool. Good. That's good. And like I said, at the end of this essay, or the end of this, not essay, the end of this lesson, we can go through and I can answer some more of your questions. Okay, so I explained that here is the general information you'll need for each citation if you don't use a citation maker. So in general, you'll need the author. And like I said, this one didn't have an author, so that one's out. You'll need the title of the piece, so that was Sojourner Truth. The title of the whole piece or whole website, which is biography.com. The publisher, which would be A&E Networks Television. The date of publication, which would be February 2018. It's also good to have that date be pretty current so that it's a reliable source. And where you found it, so that would be the URL, and then the date you accessed it. And I should probably write that. So I'll just say it was written in this format, so I'll say 25 June 2018. There. Okay. And then if you conducted a personal interview, it's super easy too. You just put the author, personal interview, and the date. So, or the author would be the person you interviewed. Okay. So here's another example of a works cited. So this is the author, Harper Lee. This is the book, To Kill a Mockingbird. This is the publisher. This is the place of publication. This is the date. And this is the type, which is a book. Here's an example of a website. Purdue OWL Family of Sites. That's the title. There is no author. The writing lab. Oops. The publisher, or sorry, the title of the whole. So that would be the writing lab and OWL at Purdue and Purdue University. The date of publication, 2008. The URL for the website, and the date that it was accessed. Okay, so that's an example works cited. This would be an example of a personal interview. So first, the last name goes first. So Johnson, first name, Joanne, written personal interview, and then the date the personal interview was given. So say you're researching later in some English courses, like in English 11, we have a mentor research assignment. And so you can actually research someone that you want to be your mentor. And so you could get all of your information from a personal interview, which you could cite just like that. And also, because this is a lot of information with websites and all these different things to follow through, and this lesson template might be really helpful for you. So if any of you want a copy of this, just email me. It's maria.helcom@graduationalliance.com. Maybe just jot that down and send me a quick email. And then I'll send you my lesson notes and all of the presentations that I use, so you can reference those if you need to while you're working on your stuff. So are there any questions? I've gone through a lot of information. Even if you wanted to say, like, could you go through in-text citation one more time, or could you go through Works Cited, or could you go through the Citation Maker again? Any questions on that before we go into your activity on English 9 semester 2? And I'll pull up my chat box here because I haven't been looking at it. You know, if you have any questions. And like I said, there's going to be some time at the end. The last 15 minutes of this lesson, we'll have time for questions. So you could even ask me, like, hey, I use this website. Let's do a citation. I'll just wait and see if anybody has any questions.
Oh, I'm losing my signal. Look.
Okay, I'll take that as a cue to continue on. So like I said, if you want these lesson notes, just send me an email. Okay, so in English 9 semester 2 activity 511, you are given, I think they're true and false questions. And so we'll go through and talk about this one or each one and make sure that they're true or false. You could even complete the assignment as we go through it as a class. So here we go. Activity 511. Plagiarism is the intentional or unintentional use of somebody else's work. True or false? And you could write in the chat box or unmute yourself. What do you think?
Is that true?
Yay, true. Yep, anytime you take somebody else's work and say it's your own, that is plagiarism. So we'll put true. Okay, an in-text citation is listed on the last page of your presentation. True or false? An in-text citation is listed on the last page of your presentation or your essay, whatever it may be.
False.
Yeah, why is it false, Denise? What do you think?
Because the Works Cited.
Yeah,
Those are
that's right. You got it. Good job. So that's false because that's at the last page is the Works Cited. That full citation is the Works Cited. Good job.
Yes, you did.
Okay, if you state the author in the text, you also have to list the author at the end in parentheses with the page number. True or false?
If you state the author is also yes, true.
Okay, so that one's tricky. So if you state the author in the text, like say I said, as written in Maria Helcom's book,
True.
I give a quote. I don't have to list Helcom in parentheses. I just have to list the page number. So yeah, so this would be, if you state the author and you also have to list, that would be false. Okay? But, I mean, it's never a bad idea to double cite something. You just don't want to not cite something, because then that's plagiarism. So, okay, the next one says, the period of the sentence goes after the page number and parentheses. So basically, let's look at an example.
True.
Period. Yeah, that's true. The period of the sentence goes after the page number in parentheses. So, like this example, okay, the period goes after, and this should have a quote here. So parentheses, period at the end. So that one is true. Okay, if a common phrase is used, you do not need to cite it. So, I don't know, here's an example of a common phrase. Don't judge a book by its cover. Do you need to cite that? Do you need to show where you heard that phrase before? Anyone have an idea? One's a tricky one.
A common phrase, you can just put the name and where you got it from.
Yeah, well, you would, but anything that's like cliche or common knowledge, like I said, everybody's heard that phrase before, don't judge a book by its cover, like everybody's heard it. And it's a bit cliche or repeated and everybody knows it. We don't exactly know who the original author of it is. So that one you don't need to cite it, okay? But something that's like a specific fact, like 97% of all Americans brush their teeth or whatever, I don't know. That needs to be cited. If it's a specific fact and it's not common knowledge where everybody would know, then you need to cite it. So this one, if a common phrase is used, you do not need to cite it. That's actually true. Okay, so that's activity 501. Feel free to go through that and answer those questions as we did in class here. And then activity 521, I think deals with Works Cited more or MLA. We'll find out. So it's also true or false. So it says, oh, this is when you're using the citation machine or the citation maker that we went through. So when you're going through, do you have to, the first one is select MLA as your format style. Is that true or false? Do you have to select MLA as your format style? Or more specifically, is MLA the format style you're using in English class? And I can show you. So with this citation machine or maker, you do have to select MLA. Okay, select MLA because that's the style format we're using. So you click that one, and if you're using a website, you click website as well. So that one be true. If you were citing a book, make sure to click website. True or false?
Would it be the page number of the book or the book?
Correct, Denise. You would click, if you were citing a book, you'd click book, right, instead of website. So yeah, this would be false. Good job. All right, the citation maker will show you all the information it found, including what it couldn't find about the website. And we can double check that. If I copy and paste my URL in there, and there's my website, and I hit select. As I wait. Oh, okay, sorry. This is what it found. So it says, here's what we found, what we couldn't find. Okay? And so if they say they can't find something, you can always go back and try to find it yourself. And publisher is usually mentioned on the bottom of the website or like in a page called About Us. So let's go back and see. We'll show you all the information it found, including what it couldn't find. That is true. Okay, once you search for the website, you will not be able to add in details manually. Let's double check. So I've searched for the website. That's my website. Then it lists all the things it found. And I can add in something I want to. I can add, maybe I only used one chapter or something and I want to add that in. Or maybe I found the author on the website. Then I would add this in. Okay, so it gives you a spot where you can add in some of the stuff that it didn't find. And so once you search for the website, you will not be able to add in details manually. Manually means one at a time. And so that's false because it does let me add in information. Okay, and the last one says, the citation that is created will need to be added to your Works Cited page. True or false? The citation we make, right, with this one, I create the citation, where does that go? Does that go on my Works Cited page, or is that my, where does this exactly go in my essay?
At the bottom?
You got it. Yep, so it needs to be added to your Works Cited page, which is usually, like Denise said, at the bottom or at the end of your essay. Yep, so we would say true. Good job. Okay, so we have gone through these major questions, and then after I'm done with this closure, we can do any questions you have about your English assignments will be open. So, so what is plagiarism? Denise, you seem to be the only one answering the questions, which is cool. Do you remember what plagiarism is?
When you cite someone's information and don't give them credit for it, and you try to use it in your own words.
You got it. Yeah,
Like
even
that.
if you write it in your own words, but you don't say where you found it, it's plagiarism. Good job. How do I include in-text citations? That's a tricky one, but do you think you could put that in your own words? What are, or how do you put in-text citations in your essay?
Am I the only one here?
I think you are.
Oh, okay. This is the one that you state within your paragraph and you name it and you date it.
You got it. Okay, that's right, except for it's usually the last name of the author and no date. Sometimes a page number if it's a book source. Okay? And then the last one was how do I make a work, or second to last one I should say, how do I make a Works Cited page? And so that one was, we go back here, you have to find all of this information, the author, the title of the piece, the title of the poll, the publisher, and you put that in your Works Cited page, or you can do it that way, or you can plug it in to the citation.
URL.
Yep, you can use the URL and plug it into the citation machine that I showed you. And then just, this is your Works Cited citation there in MLA format. You just copy that. So, okay. Last question. What is MLA? Do you remember what that is, Denise? It's like a pop quiz for you.
The initial. I forgot the initials.
No problem.
But
yeah, go for it.
What it means. Yeah. Now I got a brain freeze. Wait, let me get it right. Your MLA. That's come on. I just said it. I'm lost. I'm stuck.
Okay.
I have a brain freeze.
No worries, no worries. So MLA it stands for Modern Language Association, but it really means it's just a style format, and it's how you, like the format that you put your citations in, that's MLA format. So anytime it's mentioned MLA format, it just means follow the format that was given to you and you'll be good. MLA is followed for English classes and like social sciences. APA format is followed for like math and science essays, type writing. So, okay. And then on the bottom here were all the things that I used. So like I need to cite my sources too. So I use the Citation Maker here. And like I said, I can email this to you all if you are interested. That's the citation machine. It's also linked in your English classes too, because I think I did a video on that. I used this Prezi, which was about in-text citation, and then I used the Works Cited Prezi right here on Works Cited page. So yeah, this has been a small class, which is good. So are there any questions about plagiarism, in-text citation, or Works Cited page, or anything else actually?
I do.
Yeah, go for it.
When I go for my Works Cited,
Yeah.
and I want to get to the page that you were on, I just push the URL and I copy what I'm trying to then I use the URL and it'll automatically bring me up to this page.
Yeah, so let's go through the step one more time. So say I wanted to use, this is on Sojourner Truth. Say I found a quote, I wanted to use this, right? So I copy.
Right.
So this is the URL up here. I copy it. Okay. I go copy. And then this was right from the beginning. This is citationmachine.net. But I just Googled Citation Maker. And then it comes up. Okay. So that's like the first one that comes up. But then you'll get to this page. So not this one, but this one. Hold on here. Okay, so then you'll get to this page and you'll click MLA, you'll click website, and then it says find a website by URL or keyword. So I just paste my URL, which is what I copied from my website, right? And I hit search websites. Then, if this is the correct website, which it is, right here, I hit select. Okay, and then it says, here's what we found, and it has all of the information. So I didn't even have to look for it. It has all of it, except the publisher, but I think it actually finds the publisher. So I click final step. All of the information, if I found an author, I would write that in. I didn't, so I'm gonna hit create citation. And that's it. And so this is your down here. This is your full citation. So I just copy this and I'd put it in my Works Cited page right here. Just copy it right in there. Or let's see, this was my example here. So I just copied that right into my Works Cited page. That goes at the end of the essay. Did that help, or is that too fast? We can do it another time too. No big deal.
Yeah, I'm just have to practice it.
Yeah, there's going to be errors and stuff, but the biggest thing, Denise, is that you're showing effort in trying to cite a source or trying to show where you found your work. Like if you list the website where you found your information, you won't get plagiarism. Like you won't get in trouble for plagiarism. But if you want to get like 100% and no errors on your essay, then yeah, you got to follow all these steps. But
okay,
Denise, if I'm your teacher, you can always email me too and say, hey, I don't know if I put this Works Cited page in here correctly. Could you look at it real fast? And I can do it.
I thought I was doing it right.
You found out you were doing
until now.
Oh, got
I
it.
thought I was doing it right.
I know.
I was half stepping.
That's funny. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have any other questions, Denise, it seems to be you might be the only one that wants to talk, which is totally
No, I'm good. I got a lot going on around me.
Yeah. No problem.
So I'm gonna just email you for this information, and
Yeah.
then I'll go over it.
Absolutely. Yep. Sounds good, Denise. Thanks
And
for
thank
joining. I
you.
hope you learned a lot.
I did.
Okay, cool. All right. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
Yep. Bye-bye. Lavetta, I see you're here. Do you have any questions? Any of your English assignments? You need help with anything?